Hey everyone, and welcome to Sisters for Financial Independence, where we cover topics related to money, motherhood, and everything else in between. In today's video, we are going to cover balance transfers. If you have balances on your credit cards and you want to alleviate some of that debt burden, a balance transfer might be the solution for you. But you have to make sure you do it right. Otherwise, you're going to end up in a debt cycle. So what exactly is a balance transfer? Let's go through an example. Say you have a credit card with a balance of $6,000. Now we are in a high interest environment, so your credit card interest rate is likely around 20 to 25%. If you don't pay that debt off in time, interest accumulates every day. And with the average rate of 24%, you would pay over at least $1,000 in interest in your first year. That's a lot of money going to basically nothing, just going to interest. With a balance transfer, you basically move your credit card balance of around $6,000 or actually any other amount that you want to a new card at a new company to what's called an introductory rate. Most balance transfers are part of a promotion from the new company to get you onto their side. So you want to be shopping for a good promotional rate for these balance transfers. Now, the introductory rate normally means that for your balance that you transferred over, you would be paying a 0% rate or a lower rate than your current credit card. You would also have a set amount to pay off your balance. But any new charges you make on that card will be at the quoted rate that the credit card company has provided. So you want to be reading the fine print of all of your balance transfer offers. So if you see an offer to transfer the balance of your other credit card and it has a 0% introductory offer and you have 12, maybe 18 months to pay it off, that means that you can transfer that $6,000 to the new card. You don't have to pay any interest on it for the 12 to 18 months. Once that time frame is finished, then you would start accumulating interest depending on what the card agreement says. There's going to be three main advantages of doing a balance transfer. The first one is, of course, you save money on interest. Instead of shelling out your hard-earned dollars or interest, you can now put more towards paying off the balance of your debt. So that can give you so much savings right at the beginning. The second advantage is that the 0% window can create some breathing room for your debt repayment plan. Instead of you focusing on interest, you can now really focus on paying it all off, getting that balance down, and it can be nice to see that balance adjust and decrease in larger increments. And the third advantage is that if you have a lot of smaller debts across multiple credit cards, you can consolidate them all into this one new card with one new payment, one introductory rate, and it can be so much easier to manage your debt that way. To take advantage of a balance transfer offer, you would have to sign up for that new card at the new company and get approved for their card and that offer. And then you can transfer the balance and then you can start your payoff process without having so much interest accumulating. Now, for majority of these balance transfer offers, there will be a balance transfer fee that you would have to pay, mostly in the 3 to 5% of the balance you're transferring. But know that it will most likely be lower than the interest that will be accumulate on your high interest credit card debt. If this video has been helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend so that we can get on the journey to eliminate debt. What are the disadvantages of the balance transfers? Is the balance transfer fee around 3 to 5% on the amount you're transferring? So you will need to calculate if this cost is worth it to you. Now, if you are able to pay off this debt before the introductory or promotional period ends, the fee will be minimal compared to the interest you could be paying. The second disadvantage of balance transfers is that it could tempt you to spend more because you are basically opening a new credit card to pay for your other debt. So just keep that in mind because it does increase your credit availability. You don't want to be tapping into that. And the last disadvantage to a balance transfer is that it can be a short-term solution for your debt. Because the 0% rate isn't forever, you want to be accounting for that. Just make sure you plan ahead, make sure you have a payment plan in place so you can get rid of this credit card debt before that period ends. Now that we understand balance transfers, let's walk through some tips to help you maximize the use of balance transfers. Number one is to tally up your credit card debt. Knowing this number can go a long way to helping you figure out your action plan for your credit card debt. At this point in time, credit card debt should be a priority against all of your other debt because of the high interest rate. Once you've tallied up your credit card debt, you can figure out and prioritize which one you want to transfer. You don't necessarily have to transfer the entire balance. You can transfer what you think you can pay off in that period. That way you just give yourself some room and some cushion. The second tip I have is to shop around for balance transfer offers. Now, if you were a previous card holder of another company, they might send you these balance transfers. You can look through online, but I would also look towards your credit union. Maybe you might have to walk into an office to see if you can get a better deal when it comes to balance transfer. Once you see what's available, create yourself a little spreadsheet so you can figure out the best one for your needs and then apply for that. My third tip to make sure balance transfers work for you is that once you get approved and you get your card in the mail, do not use it. Cut it up, put it away. Don't put it in your digital wallet. Don't put it in a browser. Put it away. We do not want to be putting anything on this card because any new spend will be based off of the higher rate. So we just want to focus on transferring the balance from your other card to this new card. Remember that your goal with the balance transfer is to reduce and eventually eliminate this credit card balance debt. You don't want to be adding new debt to that card. My fourth tip is to get aggressive with your payoff plan. Now that you have some breathing room, 0% interest rate, maybe 12 to 18 months to pay off this debt, start getting aggressive to get that balance down. The good news is that any money you put into is going directly to principal. So you should start seeing your balance decrease at a much faster rate because half of it is not going to interest. Map out a plan to see how much you can put each month and set up auto pay. This ensures you never miss a payment and ensures you stay on track to getting that balance eliminated. I'd also recommend when you do your calculation, buffer yourself an extra month before your promotion date is over so that you have a cushion just in case something happens. Have a plan in place so that it gets completely paid off before the promotional period ends. And the last tip I have is be careful about playing the balance transfer game. Conceivably, you could transfer your credit card balance to a new credit card every so often. But remember that balance transfers still carry a fee, and there is a mental energy and load that you still would have to exert to manage this debt, manage all of the balance transfers and the promotional periods of these new cards. So instead of doing that, figure out ways that you can just really understand why and how you're going into credit card debt. Also keep in mind that the balance transfers still cost money. So if you keep doing that, it's still costing you in the end. Remember that when you're doing a balance transfer, you are just basically moving debt around. So once you eliminate that debt, now focus on figuring out ways to not go back into debt. This might mean understanding your spending patterns, getting an emergency fund in place so you have that cushion. If you need some help with your spending triggers and how to intentionally spend so you are not dipping into your credit card, I would recommend checking out this video where we cover spending triggers and how you can improve your spending habits. An emergency fund is also a great stepping stone to ensure you're not going into debt the next time. So I also would want you to check out this video on emergency funds so you can start funding a separate account that you can dip into instead of your credit card. Remember that balance transfers are a tool, and like any tool, they can be helpful if used correctly. So do your research, compare and shop around for balance transfer offers, and make sure you have a very solid repayment plan before jumping in. If you're considering a balance transfer, check out the description below for some resources to help you compare cards and find the best deal. I appreciate you watching, and if you want more tips to help you pay down credit card debt, check out this video. And if you want tips to help you with your budget, this video can help you too. I will see you in the next video. Bye.